Hey everyone, before we dive into this story, please hit that subscribe button to join my channel for more real-life tales of family, betrayal, and resilience. At my birthday celebration, my mother lifted her glass high. Her voice carried across the table, commanding attention. Everyone nodded in agreement. Janice should sell her house and funnel the money into Jennifer's baby fund. After all, she's the one in need. My cousins erupted in applause. My dad beamed with approval. My sister, Jennifer, dramatically wiped away crocodile tears with her napkin. I stayed silent, refusing to protest or shout. Instead, I raised my glass in a quiet toast. Then I unlocked my phone and opened a new email from my bank. The word stopped every fork midair, clattering against plates. $2,400,000. That was my truth, and they were after my home. I'm Janice Hayes, and this is how I broke free from their game. Sometimes, silence speaks louder than fury. In my family, I'm the older daughter, the dependable one, the steady one, the one expected to be flawless. Straight A's weren't a choice, they were mandatory. Scholarships, 2 jobs, studying until the sun rose. I survived on instant noodles and black coffee. Every dollar I saved was a lifeline. Meanwhile, Jennifer drifted from one gig to another, dropped out of college, partied all night, and slept through mornings. Yet, she was always forgiven, the golden child, the miracle baby, untouchable. My efforts were only praised when they served a purpose, quickly overshadowed when Jennifer's tears stole the spotlight. At 25, I bought my first apartment, and Mom called it unwelcoming. At 30, I purchased my dream home, and she said it was too large for one person. Jennifer, though, she failed spectacularly. Quit school after a semester, was lauded for finding herself, switched jobs 17 times, and was called resilient for it. No matter how hard I worked, her stumbles outshone my successes in their eyes. Family gatherings were brutal. Don't wait too long, Janice. Your biological clock is ticking. Money won't keep you company. That last jab came from Dad, cutting deep because money was what kept me fed, educated, alive. While Jennifer dined out on Dad's credit card and sported new outfits every season, I wore the same coat for 5 winters. My achievements were dismissed as luck. Her failures were spun as destiny. That night at my birthday dinner, nothing had shifted. I was still the selfish one, the woman with too much, expected to give it all up. But something inside me broke. This time I wouldn't bend. Part 2. Gearing up for the ambush dinner. After that night, the silence within me grew deafening. I stopped seeking their approval. Yet the scars of their neglect lingered. It's hard to unlearn being overlooked. I threw myself into work. 12-hour days at the firm, crunching numbers, tackling spreadsheets, meeting deadlines. They were reliable, unlike family. With money, hard work equaled results. Promotions piled up. My coworkers cheered, my boss grinned. But when the applause faded, loneliness lingered. No one at home asked about my day or said they were proud. Jennifer never missed a chance to twist the knife. You'll die alone in that house, she sneered once. I laughed it off, but the fear that she might be right gnawed at me. Nights in my too big house stretched endlessly. I'd sit with takeout and half a glass of wine, scrolling through social media like a shadow, baby announcements, wedding albums, family trips, and me. Just silence, the overlooked daughter, the successful outcast. Sometimes I wondered if I was doomed, if no amount of effort would ever matter. In their eyes, Jennifer's failures carried more weight than my victories. Every time she faltered, I was expected to pick her up. Every time I succeeded, they clipped my wings. Still, I pressed on. Stopping wasn't an option. Pausing meant drowning in emptiness. So I kept building, paycheck by paycheck, bonus by bonus. I studied investments, built portfolios, diversified. My net worth soared into the millions. But in their eyes, I was worth nothing. At family dinners, I was a side character while the conversation orbited Jennifer's pregnancy, her struggles, her courage. I could have solved world hunger, and they'd still ask if I was seeing anyone. Once, Aunt Linda leaned in and whispered, "Don't you ever want to be normal?" As if ambition was a flaw, as if independence was a sickness. I smiled, swallowed my burning retort, and went back to washing dishes while Jennifer napped on the sofa. Years passed this way. I mastered patience, learned to hold my tongue, let them underestimate me, call me distant. Deep down, I was waiting for the moment I could stand tall, not for their approval, but for proof that enduring their neglect wasn't for nothing. When that moment arrived, it was sharper, louder, and more shattering than I'd ever dreamed. Part 3. The birthday party sours. The room hummed with forced warmth. Forks clinked against plates. Glasses brimmed with cheap wine. Then Mom stood, her voice cutting through the chatter. "We all agree," she declared, her gaze sweeping the table. "Janice should sell her house and give the money to Jennifer's baby fund. She needs it more." My cousins clapped like trained seals. Dad grinned, proud of her proclamation. Jennifer dabbed at her eyes, tears glistening for effect. I froze, fork in hand. They genuinely believed I'd surrender my home, the one I'd poured my soul into, built with every sacrifice. Jennifer leaned closer, her voice quivering. "That's so kind, Janice. I knew you'd step up." Her words were venom cloaked in sweetness. Something inside me snapped, not loud, not chaotic, but cold and precise. I lifted my wine glass, took a slow sip, savoring the pause, then reached for my phone. "You want me to sell my house?" My voice was calm, almost playful. "Yes," Mom said firmly. "Family looks out for family." "Family looks out for family," I echoed softly. "That's sweet." My thumb hovered over my phone screen. "Let me share something." I opened the email from my bank, routine earlier but now a weapon. "Dear Ms. Hayes," I read aloud, "we are pleased to inform you." The room fell silent. All eyes locked on me. "Your total assets under management have exceeded 2.4 million. I let the words hang in the air. Forks dropped. Smiles vanished. Jennifer's jaw slackened. Brandon tried to crunch the numbers in his head. Mom paled. Dad blinked, confused. "That's my worth, not including my house," I said, setting my phone down with purpose. "You want me to sell my $400,000 home and hand over pocket change while I'm sitting on millions?" Silence, thick, uneasy. Stephanie squeaked. "Over 2 million? How?" I worked. I saved. I invested, I said, my laugh sharp and bitter. "While you mock my choices, I was starving on rice and beans, wearing the same coat for 5 winters while Jennifer charged Dad's card at restaurants." Jennifer's voice trembled. "You don't get it. I'm struggling now." "No," I cut her off. "You're reckless. And now you expect me to pay for it." I leaned forward, my gaze sweeping the table. "You never asked for help. You demanded everything. You tried to shame me in my own home." I stood, the scrape of my chair echoing. My chest swelled with years of suppressed anger. Their eyes darted away, heavy with guilt, heavy with fear. "This party is over. Get out." I didn't yell. I didn't plead. I simply ended it. They came for my house. Instead, they left with the truth. Part 4. The $2.4 million bombshell. The text wouldn't stop. One guilt trip after another buzzed through. "Mom, you humiliated us. We only wanted what's best." "Dad, you shamed the family." "Jennifer, I hope you choke on your money." I stared at the screen, almost amused. This was their version of love. Stephanie mentioned Uncle Ray. Tyler called me selfish. Aunt Carol warned, "Pride comes before a fall." I set the phone down. For the first time, silence felt like a shield. Then came Brandon with a certified letter, a lawyer's name, threatening to sue for unfulfilled promises. I laughed aloud in my office. My attorney, Michelle, nearly choked with laughter when I forwarded it. "This is worthless," she said. "Desperate people making empty threats." Still, it revealed how far they'd go. Not just guilt, not just pressure, but legal manipulation. I refused to waver. I forgot to leave the family group chat, though. Later, my cousin Tyler's girlfriend, Hannah, messaged me privately. "Honestly, I think they're unfair. Not everyone sees you as the bad guy." That message was a breath of fresh air. Someone saw the truth. Then Mom appeared at my doorstep, hair messy, makeup streaked, voice trembling. "Janice, please. We can fix this. We'll buy you a car." I stopped her. "I don't want your guilt gifts or panic bribes. I wanted respect, Mom. You chose Jennifer's tears over my years. Her eyes welled up. You'll regret this when you're alone. I stepped back. No, I regret waiting 32 years to say no. She left, shoulders sagging, but mine stayed strong. That night, I poured wine and reread the bank email. 2.4 million. My number, my life, my proof. The phone kept buzzing. Missed calls, desperate pleas. I let it ring. For years, I'd beg for scraps. Now they were begging me. The shift in power was exhilarating, intoxicating. I thought of forgotten birthdays, late nights at work building something no one believed in, insults masked as advice, every reminder that Jennifer mattered more. It hit me I'd been alone all along. But now I wasn't invisible. I was undeniable. As I sipped my wine, I realized family isn't always blood. It's the people who cheer your victories, not those who demand you sacrifice. They wanted my house. Instead, I gave them the truth, worth more than any mansion. Part 5. Healing, Wealth, and Choosing Self-Respect. The next morning, my house was still. No buzzing phone, no guilt seeping through the walls, just sunlight spilling across my living room. I sat at the same table where it all unraveled, where my mother demanded, my cousins cheered, and my sister faked tears. And I understood something. I didn't lose my family that night. I lost the illusion of one. They never celebrated me. They tolerated me when I was useful, ignored me when I wasn't. That's not family. Family shows up for your birthday, asks about your dreams, doesn't judge your worth by what you can give. I used to think boundaries were cruel, that saying no was selfish, but it's survival. It's freedom. And here's what followed. I built my own circle. Friends who remember the small stuff. Colleagues who value my work. Neighbors who check in, bring soup when I'm sick, know my dog's name. That's family too. Jennifer? She'll have to forge her own path. Her child will learn that not everyone gets a bailout. Some lessons sting, but they're vital. I'm not her safety net. I'm not their ATM. I'm not the villain in their story. I'm the author of my own, writing it page by page, choice by choice, without needing their permission. One day I'll sit at a birthday table with people who choose me, not out of duty, but love. We'll share cake and laughter, no one tallying favors or keeping score. If you've ever felt unseen, been called selfish for guarding what you've earned, you're not alone. Have you faced something like this? Share in the comments. The greatest inheritance isn't money. It's the strength to walk away. If this story resonated, please like and share it with someone who needs it today. And don't forget to subscribe for more true stories of family betrayal that remind us we're stronger than we know.